Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I just wanted to do a quick top 3 examples of the cool life of Padre Pio. For those of y'all who do not know who Padre Pio is, he was a Capuchin friar who lived in the 20th century. I also believe that there's a movie coming out about him um, being portrayed by Shia LaBeouf, which is pretty cool. And I think Shia LaBeouf actually had a conversion after, acting in this role. So that's just a fun fact. To start out, I want to start with I just wanted to do the top 3 interesting facts about his life that I found necessary to share. Um, the first one I found most important, and I guess the most obvious and known about, is that Padre Pio received the stigmata. So on September 20th, 1918, Padre Pio received the stigmata. For those of you who do not know what the stigmata is, it's actually bearing the wounds of Christ on his hands and feet where he was nailed to the cross. And a lot of people, I think most of the saints that have received the stigmata have all been, or mostly been women. And so this is um, obviously uncommon just to receive the stigmata, but also even more uncommon amongst the saints that he was a man who received this as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Another fact about the stigmata, though, is whenever people have open wounds, if they're bleeding out and especially like staying open and bleeding out, is that you'd expect them to smell bad or get infected. But this is not the case with Padre Pio. Um, his wounds were said to have had a peaceful scent of perfume. So the way I take it is that like him suffering like Christ allowed him to, I guess, transcend his own suffering, and it was a cross, but it also became like redemptive. That's how I take it, in that it wasn't a cross if he had faith in God and faith in Jesus and trust that in his divine will that this was meant for a reason. So that's enough for the stigmata. Number 2, Padre Pio had a cool relationship with his guardian angel, even from a young age. So from a young age, he was able to see his guardian angel, have conversations with his guardian angel, and then later on, when he was a priest, there was a story about how he was actually Padre Pio was one of the few saints that actually had physical encounters with the devil, and so one particular night he was being harassed and physically assaulted by the devil, and he called upon his guardian angel to intervene and pretty much stop the suffering and the torment and the temptations, and to no avail. The guardian angel did not help, and I had some questions, as I'm assuming many people do, like, oh, I thought guardian angels were supposed to protect us and make us like take us away from danger, not let us be involved in it. And then later on that day, Padre Pio asked his guardian angel, like, hey, where were you? I needed help. I was being physically assaulted by the devil. And the angel essentially said he allowed it to happen because he looked so like the enigma of suffering like Christ is redemptive. So he thought it was best that he stay out of it and allow him to be tempted and have these physical experiences like Christ did, especially in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. Lastly, is I think another cool one is bilocation. So essentially, when we get to heaven, we will be able to have insane dexterity, and we could be in many places at once, or like at the drop of a pin, like a thought will be there. And essentially, this is kind of what that is, and it's like Padre Pio could be in 2 places at once, and there are many different stories and examples about this happening throughout his lifetime. But one story I found was during World War II, the American Italy was controlled by Nazis in Germany, and the American troops or bombers were having the job of bombing San Giovanni Rotondo, which is where Padre Pio lived. Um, so as these planes were coming through the sky to send missiles or whatever, they saw a man like floating in the sky, and they were unable to uh, unleashed their weapons and bombs and missiles on the city. And so later on, everyone had questions, and then uh, one of the pilots that saw this incident visited where Padre Pio lived, not knowing that he was there, and he was very surprised and probably a little bit sick after figuring out that, oh my gosh, this is the guy I saw in the sky that prevented me from um, bombing the city. So yeah. Anyway, those are the top three things that I found on Padre Pio. Obviously, there's tons of more stories and miracles that are associated with him. Another fun fact is that it's believed that John Paul II received confession from, went to confession to Padre Pio when he visited San Giovanni Rotondo. That's pretty cool because it's like two saints, meeting together. It's kind of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe where it's like, boundaries are being broken, people are coming into different worlds, and so I thought that was pretty cool. So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope y'all, take this to heart and start researching for yourselves. Just to, I just want to make it more interesting for other people like me to just do their own research and, find out, some cool things about the saints, and hopefully that y'all learned that today. Thank you.